Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TDC Podcast with Mike and T-Roy. T-Roy's here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You doing good or you doing well?
I'm doing gooder than usual. Yeah.
That's impressive. I'll take it.
It's fucking draft day, dude. I love it. You're theme dressing.
I am indeed.
You're picking up the slack for Isis by
got my
theme
Lions
dressing.
gear on here. So I paint my face like Isis.
Yeah. You have been doing a little theme dressing for the Lions all week, really. You've had the sweatshirt on, got the nice T-shirt on right now.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. You and I are not usually excited at the same time.
No, it's the old joke that this is the Lions Super Bowl of the draft,
Yeah.
And while I always pay attention, I've not been, even last year with the number 2 pick, it was anticlimactic in a way. I wasn't really that excited about it.
There was a little because it was like, are they going to take Hutch at 1?
Yeah.
Who was it? The
other guy that went.
Yeah, was it
Thibodeau? Kayvon Thibodeau?
Yeah. Was that Texans?
Did he go 1? No, he went to. Oh wait, no. Who else went? Who went 1?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But
nope.
But it was like, oh God! And then Hutch was available at 2, and so that
was more
Hutch,
for Michigan and Hutch than it was about the Lions for me. Anyway,
but I liked him.
I did too. But I mean, I'm just saying that was more for me. I wasn't excited about the Lions draft as much as Hutchinson if he was coming here for the Lions.
And they were arguably staring down the barrel of being literally the worst team in the league again. And then last year happened, and yeah.
So we'll see. I'm excited. I really am. I hope they go defense.
Yep.
I hope they don't take a quarterback until late.
Yeah.
If they take one at all.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Should we, I just got a wild hair. I was thinking we should call Henson and get his opinion on the draft.
Yeah.
We could.
I mean, why not?
I mean, I literally haven't talked to him, so we'd be blowing in a blind call. So
let's see. He loves that.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, but fuck
Why not?
him. He'll live.
He's not doing anything anyway.
Nah.
He's got his
He
fucking.
shouldn't be on the air right now.
No,
let's
he's
just
doing
blow in a
mornings.
call and see what he says.
See what happens.
What the hell?
Our Lions insider, Greg Henson. Our Lions hater.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing much better. I should warn you. I've failed at this before, but we are live on the air right now.
Oh. What's up?
So thank God you didn't answer the phone like normal by just dropping a handful of N-words.
Yeah. Oh, God. Shit.
No, we just started, Greg, and I've been meaning to call you and text you. I was out for a few weeks with the back, but we've got to get the DFAS up and rolling again. But
Let's go.
Yeah, we will. I know but people have been emailing me like, "What the fuck, man? When are you doing?" We'll get it going, I promise. But today is such an exciting day. It's draft day, and T-Roy and I are sitting down here. Troy's wearing his Lions T-shirt, and we are jacking off to one of the Lions Super Bowl. Let's be honest, draft
Full
day.
chub over here.
Yep.
Yeah. And I have not talked to you in a while, but dude, are you feeling any different about this Lions team at this point?
Fuck no.
Until they host a playoff game.
How could you? You think they're going to be a big playoff contender, and then they lose 4 guys off their roster?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. No,
they're cursed. And they can't have nice things.
Yeah, I know. I fear that too. My Niners went through this in the year after 2019, the Super Bowl year, and it was like, oh yeah. And then like week 1, half their starters and all their all pros fucking blew out knees, and it was like, okay,
Here we go.
Yep.
you end up with a 3-win team picking second in the draft, and
And they're not even cursed. They're not even cursed like the Lions are.
yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, Greg, how you doing, buddy?
Good, T-Roy. How are you?
I'm well. What do you think about that Jameson Williams deal? As far as if people don't know, he suspended 6 games for a bet that he made.
Yeah.
It wasn't on football, or at least wasn't on his team, whatever.
Not
It
on
was on
NFL.
college.
But it was
on college.
right. But it was the issue was where he placed the bet and not.
Yeah, he did it. He did it in the facility.
Right, but not. So it would have been absolutely fine and legal anywhere else at any other time. But the fact that it went when it did, it warrants a 6-game suspension. Does that seem?
And he He knew better. After Calvin Ridley was suspended, they had multiple seminars about where you can and can't and what you can and can't bet on, and that dumbass did it.
Yeah, doesn't it just drive you insane when they do such dumb shit? Where it's like
lion's gonna lion.
Yeah, but no, I mean, here's a first-round pick who's staring down the barrel of millions and millions of dollars. What is he going to make $1,000 bet on some stupid college game? Like, really?
But that's like Michael Jordan. He used to bet money on games all the time because he was just a degenerate gambler.
Yeah, but that was his thing, Jordan. Like, he couldn't basically leave his hotel room. All he could do was fucking gamble. And it's like, it sounds like he did that with everything. Golf games, card games, actual sporting events. Like, he just could not gamble.
Right.
But Jamison Williams seems like a different story. And, to T-Roy's point, do you think 6 games is warranted, or is that a little much?
Maybe, but you know the rules. The other guys got busted for a year.
Yeah.
For something that's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue I have with it is that it was absolutely fine to do, 5 minutes later, or, a half mile down the road is totally acceptable. But
hey, pull into the 7-Eleven, T-Roy. Do it there. This dumbass better.
Now I know.
Yeah.
He did know better, and he is paying the price.
T-Roy, you sound like the guy who says, well, my kid would never do that.
Not at all. No, not at all. It's the hypocrisy. For
sound
me.
like a lib.
That they go fuck yourself. No, the fact that it's okay in 99.99% of the rest of the world and time, but it's not okay in that specific thing just seems a bit either you can or you can't. I just think it's silly that you limit it on when and where.
Yeah, like on the team bus, in the hotel, in the facility.
Okay, Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man. Yeah. Well,
we're excited for our first round tight end tonight.
Yeah, or corner. You know how I am on corners.
They're gonna take a corner if Carter's not there.
You think it's Jalen Carter? You think that's who they're interested in?
I think if he falls, I think they'll sprint up and get him.
Yeah, I think so. He's a freak. I've been watching some tape on him. He's an absolute freak.
Any chance Will Anderson's there?
Only if they trade up.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to trade up to top 3.
Yeah. So you think you think he'll be gone by the Cardinals at 4?
Maybe. I think there's a good chance he goes in the top 4. Yeah.
Do you think it's worth it for the Lions to trade up, or would you like to see them trade back or stay put?
It all depends. I wouldn't take a corner there. If the corner was the guy, if Carter's gone, I'd trade back a little bit. Let somebody else grab, another quarterback if they want him. That's what I do. I wouldn't take a corner at 6 because I think there's 3 of them in the same category.
Yeah.
Between,
Witherspoon, Gonzalez, and Porter.
Witherspoon, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your ideal? What would you be happy with? Tonight it's obviously just round 1, but the Lions have 2 picks, 6 and 18. Is there anything they could do in the draft, whether trading back, trading up, grabbing guys? Is there any scenario you can see playing out where you're like, wow, I didn't expect my, cursed Lions team to do the smart thing, but they've done it?
Jalen Carter and Bijan Robinson.
You think so?
Running back, really?
I love him.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just think he's a great player. I think if the Cowboys get him, who I think they're targeting him, I don't know, man. Could you imagine putting him back there with
Montgomery? Montgomery?
Yeah, that would be sweet.
And then do you move Swift?
Oh yeah, I've heard they're taking calls on him.
I'd move on. Can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Maybe you can play corner.
Hey, Greg, I don't know if you know or how much you're tied into this stuff, going kind of off subject here, but in the off season, when rookies are coming into the NFL, this goes back. I mean, when I was hanging around with those guys in '97, they had all kinds of structure about how not to blow your money, and these kids blew it off. What is going on in those meetings now? Are they still pushing like how to be responsible with money, make sure you don't gamble? Like, what are the main things that they're talking about?
Well, it's the rookie symposium, they call it.
Yep.
It's money. investing, planning for the future, staying away from hewers.
Hewers.
Dump the entourage.
Yeah, don't just how not to make dumb decisions. It's a smart thing. It's shit that should be taught in college, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing's still going on. It's the rookie symposium. They bring them in and they teach. Oh, drugs is involved. Don't get involved in this. In drugs, even when it's legal, it's not good for you. All that stuff.
Yeah.
It's basically a class on how to become an adult male with a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is smart because, a lot of these guys, famously, who was it? Not Shannon Sharp, but his brother.
Sterling?
No, it's Shannon. Jesus. I keep screwing that up.
Sterling's brother, Shannon.
Yeah. Shannon Sharp famously got like a $300,000 signing bonus and spent $250,000 on a super sports car. You're like, okay. Yeah. It worked out for him because he became a Hall of Fame caliber, player, but
could have blown out both ACLs in the first year and done. So you never know.
Exactly.
Well, there's a lot of idiots who go out and spend their money on stupid stuff, but they, and I think there's a certain amount of that that's to be expected. But you got to teach them how not to buy their buddies' cars and how not to buy every member of their squad a car.
Right. Yeah, is buying mom a house? That's next level though, right? That's like special guys can buy mom a house.
Well, it depends on what kind of house you're buying.
To buy mom a nice place isn't going to break you.
Right. You don't have to buy mom a $7 million house in Miami. You can buy mom a decent place.
Right, but if you buy her a $300,000 split level in Waterford.
Yeah.
That's a good use of your money for mom.
And if you're trying to get her out of, a lot of these guys come from horrible situations and living, if let's be honest, if you grow up in the ghetto and you want to get mom out of the, the living quarters like that, and into a safer city, I understand that.
And let's be honest, isn't that what happened to you? Didn't your daddy buy you that house?
Yeah, my daddy did. Yeah, of course.
Hey, speaking of houses, how's yours coming? Yours done yet?
That's funny.
Did you hear him, Greg? Troy was asking how your house is coming.
You're too busy giggling at yourself.
Oh my God, next month.
Next month. Okay, I knew we were getting close.
How's the show going, by the way?
Good, man. One book. It was in 12th. Now it's in 6th. So we cut it in half.
Nice. What are their expectations?
Number 1.
Yeah.
Top 3, I think, is any expectation for a show. So we're almost there already because there's a couple established shows out here already that we're, going to have to take on. But
who's out there?
Free Beer and Hot Wings are the ones. They do pretty well.
Yeah, yep, they do. I know Drew's nephew was working with them for a while.
Oh, okay.
And I know Eric Zane really well, who was their sports guy, third mic guy.
Yep. I hired Eric.
Oh, did you?
You guys hired him away from me.
Oh, no shit.
I had put him on DFN, and then you guys and then Drew left, and they hired him.
Yeah. Well, we had nothing to do with that. That was a surprise to us. In a meeting one day, me, Mark, and Clark and maybe Trudy got called into a meeting that day, and he's sitting there, and it was like,
and what did Clark say?
Oh, he was fucking livid. He was not happy at all. It was like, wait a minute, I've got my guys here I can do a show with, but we were pretty green, Mark and I.
Who did that?
Well, it would have been Podell probably would have been in on that, Tom Bender. And then there were some consultants too. Shut up, T. There were some consultants that had come in and thought they knew everything. Consultants, those guys are fantastic. So I think it was a consultant that did that.
Bender didn't kind of introduce you to him before they hired him? That surprises me.
Yeah, no, not at all. Because it probably would have been met with a lot of pushback.
Well, was it already even after because you didn't have a decision or you didn't have a voice in it?
No.
Wow.
It was shitty. There were some moves back then that were kind of shitty and it wasn't good for Eric. And Eric and I have talked plenty about this now, but we weren't dying to have someone thrown in there. So yeah, it was, and he wasn't treated the best by the crew. I can say that.
Should have fucking put T-Roy in there.
Yeah,
damn right.
Yeah, T-Roy would have been great.
I fucking lock it down, man.
So you're, I want let's move on from football because by the time most people hear this, the draft will have already happened. Let me pick your brain really quick on what you make of the Tucker Carlson move with Fox News. Do you have any opinion on that?
I think Tucker was great. I loved him.
Yeah.
He's the only reason I stayed after O'Reilly left.
Right. Me too.
Honestly, I think he's going to be bigger and better than ever. Did you see that video that he did last night? Got 40 million views.
50. It's up. I think it's up over 50
up to
million.
50?
Yeah. I got an email from a listener today that said, "Holy shit, 50 million!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point! So I haven't fact checked that, but I trust this listener.
Unless that's his contract.
Yeah. So
that's what he's getting at OAN.
There's a lot of stories though that he's going to be on the beach. He won't even be available during. I don't agree with that either.
I think he could get out of a contract that just sidelines him. I don't know, particularly when he gives back the $20 million a year.
Right. Do you think he'll have to cough that up? Because there could be a clause in there that we don't know about that's a use it or lose it clause. So you can't you just can't beach him.
Yeah, you can't bench him like that. I agree. I think there's something in that that'll say that. If there's not, Tucker's got bad lawyers. He hired a shooter. He hired a big shooter. The same guy Megyn Kelly hired, Don Lemon hired him.
Yep.
This guy knows how to deal with these guys. He'll get out of his deal.
Yep.
He'll go to another platform, and he'll be bigger than ever. If that guy, what's his name, Crowder?
Steven Crowder. Yeah, you're talking about attorney Brian Friedman.
Friedman, right? He's the attorney. But if that Crowder guy can get $50 million a year on YouTube, how much can Tucker make?
Yeah, I said the same thing. Like, if you think, because there's a lot of rejoicing, people on the left, like, nah, he's gone, he's fired. It's like, careful what you wish for, sweethearts.
Having back bigger and better than ever.
Having
people
an
don't
untethered.
Even realize cable TV news is small, man. He had 3 million people.
3.5, yeah.
Yeah. And that's nothing compared to what you can do on the internet. I mean, look at Ben Shapiro. Look at Glenn Beck. All these guys, I'll be honest with you, when Tucker gets his deal together, I will pay for his service because I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's nice to have someone get bounced where it's not, even Bill O'Reilly came with a lot of baggage, like, oh, he's fucking this chick and that chick, and he's harassing. Like, there's none of that really with Tucker. I mean,
there's that one woman who claims all that stuff, but apparently she's only met him one time.
Yeah, you're talking about the producer that, she was basically
did you see her? She's a total live plant.
Yeah, she looks like it. And
that's what I thought when I heard her. And
none of the accusations that I saw were involving Tucker. It was like it was basically like the war room at the studio, and that's a room where you're pitching ideas and who should we get and interview. Part of that raucous room. I've been in those rooms. You've been in those rooms when you're putting a show together. Those can be kind of male dominated and a little trashy, and you know how guys are. But it's like, really, you're going to try and sink Tucker Carlson's career over kind of some boys will be boys antics in the war room?
The minute I heard her talk, I knew what she was all about.
Mm-hmm.
It was so painfully obvious that's the lady who tried to sink Kavanaugh. Same thing.
Yeah, Blasey Ford.
Blasey Ford. Yep.
Christine Blasey Ford. Yeah, and that fell apart. Yeah,
because it was phony.
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover on the draft front? Are you excited? Do you give a shit about draft day?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
It's our Super Bowl. I told you.
Yeah, are you team draft a quarterback or not a quarterback? Where you stand on Goff?
I don't want any of the. I'm fine with Goff. His contract's not even in the top 10 most expensive.
Exactly.
Huh?
Exactly. Yeah, and he's a top 10 quarterback
I'm
statistically.
Fine with Goff. He's the least of their problems, Troy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He surprised me a lot. I watched him with the Rams for a few years, being in that division with my Niners, and I was never that impressed with him. But he doesn't really turn the ball over. He can make all the throws.
He's young.
He's young still. Yeah. He doesn't have a bunch of injury baggage, and for this team at this spot they're at right now,
that's
he's
not
perfect.
a need. at all.
He's perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally fine with him, and he's cheap comparatively.
Right.
Yeah,
If
right.
you want to take a flyer deep in the draft somewhere, O'Connell or somebody out of Purdue, one of these guys late, you want to put him on board, fine, but nothing anywing near the first three rounds.
So
I don't like any of these quarterbacks.
I really don't either. It amazes me seeing these people out there. I just watched one today. I think it was Tim Twentyman, who you would think is close to the
he's the Lions guy.
The Lions guy. He had them taking Richardson at 6. Like, why? What in what fucking universe would that be the right move to take an absolutely?
They all get horny over the arm.
I'm telling. I mean, to take an absolutely unproven and the most unpolished of all the quarterbacks coming out, essentially raw talent, sure, but absolutely unproven.
Yeah.
At 6, fuck, are you talking about?
It seems counter to what they do.
Look what raw talent got Michigan and Joe Milton. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah. No, I hope they don't do corner, which I know they will. I don't mind taking corner 3rd round down. Even later 2nd round is fine. But I think taking a 1st round corner is bad. I think they take too long to develop. That's just my thought. And when you can go do what they did in free agency this year, they went and shored up that entire secondary. You know, if those guys stay healthy, that's a whole different team.
Yeah. But just think, all these are short-term Band-Aids, these signs they made. I mean, they could sign these guys long-term, but I think most of them are one-year deals, essentially, weren't they? Gardner? Yeah. So if you can put these stopgaps in for this year and then draft somebody that can sit, get a little time, learn, and develop, that's just sets you up for the future. If you can get that kind of talent and then let it develop, it's not like anything they've ever done.
Needs. That seems like a
it does and it doesn't. I mean, and then next year if you don't have a secondary, if you don't, it may not be a need this year because of the moves they made.
Yeah,
but still, it's a long-term need for sure.
Yeah,
and they're in a rarefied position this year that I can never remember at all in the past of where. They don't have to take the best player available. They don't have a million holes that need to be filled. It doesn't matter. They can take anybody, and it's an upgrade. They have very specific needs, and that they can be selective with who they want to pick. And that's a position that I can't ever remember this team being in.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely. But I mean,
well, I'm not nearly as old as you, so you remember a lot more than me.
What's that?
I said I'm not nearly as old as you, so you remember more than I do.
Yeah, but I didn't burn my brain as bad as you did.
True,
still do.
Yeah, very true.
But I'm saying I want defense, but I'm fine with a defensive lineman or edge.
Yeah.
And then whatever you want.
I'd love to see him go right up the middle. Go Carter if they vetted him and they're comfortable with him, absolutely. The guy is a freak and a game changer. I'd love to see him.
What plays out, because there might be guys there on the defensive line that you don't expect to be there. The kid from Pitt, there's a lineman from Clemson they like, that Breeze or something like that.
Yep, and Clancy, exactly. And Clancy's probably he'll probably be there at 16 or 18 too, possibly anyway, depending on how it all shakes out.
I want to spend a lot of capital on defense this year.
Yeah. I'd love to see him if there's any way, and that with that 2nd round pick, if that linebacker out of Iowa, Campbell, I'd love to see him. Yep. That'd be a great move. If they did defense right up the middle like that with those first 3 picks, get it.
Yeah.
No doubt, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be exciting. I as you know, I'm a big Niners guy too, and they're not even picking until pick 99 or something. But while I was out with my back, I watched a shitload of their YouTube with the guys that follow the Niners, kind of their
the talking heads.
The talking heads. And to a man, I'm telling you, every one of them feels like the NFC is Eagles, Niners, Lions, rest of the league. I know. I wanted your opinion on that, but I'm telling you, to a man, those guys are like, there's these 3 teams in the NFC and then everybody else.
Let me just take you back last summer when everyone thought the Tigers were a playoff team.
Not me.
But you know what I mean? People... It's an echo chamber for these media clowns.
Yeah.
One guy's jerking off the next guy who's jerking off the next guy. And
no offense.
It just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So now they're all in love with the Lions. Give me a break.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're going to. This is the first time I can honestly say I feel.
Didn't you say this last year?
No, because I thought they were going to suck last year.
Oh, coming off the Hard Knocks, you were all fucking bonered
Oh,
up.
yeah. That's true.
You're poking yourself in the eye.
Yeah. But then dude, we haven't really talked since that run at the end of the season. You had to have been impressed with that, Greg. You had to.
Oh, you mean the blowout when it was all on the line in Charlotte?
Yeah, that's fair.
You talked
that's
about that.
fair. We talked about that. But other than that, disaster and New England.
Other than the only one that mattered. Yeah. Good.
Hey, you got to lose them before you can win them.
That's true.
Or just.
Hey, that was my whole reasoning. That was my whole reasoning of
all the fans saying that in 1959. Oh, we'll be right back next year.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Prove it.
All right, Greg. All right, let's talk about when we want to do another DFAST show. Off air. We can discuss that because I'm back full time now and whatnot. But enjoy the draft tonight, my friend. GregHenson.com.
I'm glad you're feeling better. Fuck
Thank
Troy.
you. Yeah, absolutely.
Liberal.
Yeah, more than you could possibly imagine, sir.
Troy, isn't that the worst thing anyone can call
Yeah,
you?
it is.
I'm not gonna lie, it fucking stings a little.
It stings a little. It stung me a little sitting next to you.
You don't even know me. Fuck you.
Hey,
All right, man, let's talk soon, guys, and get this going.
Sounds good, buddy. Have fun with the draft tonight. It's going to be a blast. Give our best to Michelle. And, we'll talk in the next day or two here about when we're going to do a show next.
If the Lions get Jalen Carter, you'll be squeezing the weasel by 9.
Oh, yeah. That's your guy.
I'll blow my load before the fucking 7th pick hits the fucking stage.
All right, I'll see you guys.
All right, see you, buddy. Have a good one.
All right,
bye.
Later.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, that's what you get when it's totally off the cuff. I seriously was like, well, I know
not?
Greg wants to do something, and fuck,
Sure.
it's draft day. So for people listening live, maybe they get a little something out of it. The rest of you can just fast forward through that.
Yeah.
15 minutes, whatever.
Nobody pays attention to sports.
Yeah.
Us anyway.
I know. It's, you know what, dude? Honestly, I'm really excited. I can't.
Not
I'm
gonna
not going to
lie.
hide it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to act like, same old Lions. I get it. That's a narrative. You can do that. But for the first time in my lifetime, maybe 91, when they went to the championship game against the Redskins, got smoked.
Right.
But, it's like, oh, shit, that it just feels real. It feels like something is going on. So
Yeah. I guess
I'm
gotta put it
excited
together,
for it.
But I don't. They will not come in last in the division. I promise you that.
Yeah, I hope not. I definitely hope not. Anyway, should we play that Tucker video that we had mentioned getting 50 million views
Yeah, sure.
and whatnot? We
talked
briefly.
yesterday that he had not released any sort of a statement, and then just after we finished the show, he released a statement for what it's worth.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting statement. I don't want to look too much into it. We can play just a couple minutes
We'll
of it.
break it down after.
Sure. There you go.
All
right, let's check it out.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough.
Yep.
As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a veiled announcement.
That says, like, I'm not going corporate. I'm not.
No, well,
you know what I mean? Like, he'd be crazy to. He's too smart. There's no fucking way he's going to sign with OAN. Yeah. Like, I just can't see it. Like, what would be...
I don't know that OAN has the fucking numbers.
Yeah. He would give
bring
them the numbers.
He would bring them. I understand that. And it's like Amazon or whoever's doing the football. Then you go out and sign Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Yeah. Right? Because you got all you give yourself immediate credibility by doing something like that.
Yeah.
But there's too much out there right now. But OAN, I assume that's an internet thing. Again, I've never even
do you know what? Someone emailed and said they're on DirecTV, which we have.
It's a network?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even know that.
I did not either.
I thought it was like an online thing. Like, I don't know anything about it. Someone emailed, obviously someone on the right, because they're like, OAN is great. There's no racism, like people say, and it's on DirecTV, it's on Dish, something like that. But I don't know who's on there. I've never seen it.
No idea. But yeah, there's too much out there. There's too much. The world is your oyster at this point with the internet. I mean, between like Rogan. I mean, what's Rogan get? Like 10 million plus per episode?
Minimum 11 million.
11 million. Okay,
but up to 30. Yeah.
But I mean, and he was doing 3 million and dominating.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an opportunity here to do something. Now, whether that pairs him up with somebody, he goes under somebody, he does his own thing.
Choices
see.
Are he could launch his own network, which seems silly for him. He's friends with Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck has the Blaze going. Could easily go to the Blaze network, and Glenn's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
It would be there. Or Daily Wire. Daily Wire is a landing spot for a lot of these people.
Well, very true. But I guess he leans, pretty hard right, obviously. But I don't know. There was something about that had more of an independent feel.
Really? Yeah. I know what you mean. He could do it. He's done it before, launching.
And I would love to see somebody like this because he has been, however you want to take him, he's right.
Yeah.
And there's guys that are just left. And whatever they do, they defend the right, they defend the left, and that's just what they do. I would love to see somebody like this with somebody, and Rogan to some degree does it, but that just fucking blows the doors off. Just goes right down and just calls a spade, just attacks, in ridiculousness on both sides.
Right.
And just is all about what's fucking right, period. But I guess that depends on how you view things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what your affiliation is dictates what you think is right.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. We touched on it briefly with Greg there. The idea, the people laughing, like The View was doing like a studio, hey.
He gone, right.
Like, really? Is that what you really think? Honestly, you fucking dorks. You fucking
like they can just
hens.
like picture him walking out of his office, with a box of stuff and a fucking security guard on either side, just
they're like
holding back the tears.
We'll take that badge back from you, Carlson.
Right?
Like, is that really what you think? Keith Olbermann, who is off the reservation,
he's long gone.
This dude it's almost funny to watch. I've never seen someone like so unhinged and so like he's crazy.
Yeah,
it's funny to watch.
I used to love the guy.
Yeah, when he was doing
Center days,
Patrick. Yeah,
oh my God, they were classic.
Yeah, they made a great team doing that thing. And
then dude lost his mind, unless that's what you believe, and then he's a prophet.
He's lost his mind. Like I can't tell you. Like I just didn't understand like the whole like vaccine stuff and getting a vaccine shot on camera, like why you would line up and blow government agencies. Like, holy shit, I would have thought you were smarter than that. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And then long after we knew certain things to be facts, you're still pushing that narrative. Like he's still trying to hawk like Russiagate with Trump. And like, dude, you know that shit's been, we know the backstory now. We know what happened. We know who was involved.
But he built his foundation on that stuff. So you just have to fucking ride it out.
Well, he went after Megyn Kelly, and Megyn Kelly fucking hammered Keith Olbermann today. Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
That bitch, she saw red.
Excellent.
You know?
Okay.
She did. So Keith Olbermann, sequence of events began. The View hosts mocked Carlson after his departure, prompting Megyn Kelly to tweet, "Not one of these women could hold a solo host, could solo host a show and get ratings. Not one. They are and will always be ensemble players." That's a shot. Oh, yeah. That's a shot. Their jealousy is on full display here, and the ideological hatred too, of course. She tweets that, and it's like, hardly not true.
Tell me the lie.
Olbermann then attempted to mock Kelly, writing, "What would you know about successfully hosting a show? Fired by Fox, fired by NBC. You're 0 for 2, and you couldn't get a job cleaning the studio at The View." Hardy. Har.
Oh, Keith.
That is
Keith.
silly. Not so funny.
I would love to have seen Megyn Kelly's face when she read that for the first time.
Like, oh, I'm going to have to light up Keith Olbermann today. Cool. She says...
Hold my beer.
This is a hold my beer, by the way.
Hold my martini.
Even Keith Olbermann was saying similar things, comparing Tucker to a Nazi. He also, for good measure, decided to tweet about me because I said Tucker is going to be better off without Fox, and said something to the effect of, "You got fired from Fox and NBC. What would you know about it?" So first of all, you misstate the circumstances of my departure from NBC, sir. That's all I'm allowed to say about it. So you remember, she got fired not for ratings, but for she basically had your argument.
Was that that was the blackface? I wasn't sure if that was which network that she got tossed from.
She went on network TV and gave the argument you've given.
Absolutely right.
A bunch.
Yeah.
And it cost her. But that was going to blow up anyways. Like they were not going to welcome her into this community. It
was a convenient excuse.
It was.
Right. But a valid argument.
But she was basically saying, when I was growing up, if someone painted their face black to do a Diana Ross, it was a tribute. It wasn't
Right. It wasn't insulting. It wasn't derogatory.
It wasn't mocking. It was, like paying homage to Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 or, whoever.
So I'm going to do Diana Ross and just wear a dress and just be white? And
right.
People are going to be like, who are you?
I will say in this climate and culture, probably best just to leave the black face paint at home, no matter what your intention.
We'll see.
But, T-Roy's made that point, quite well, too. I don't think it's a terrible thing. But people, when you lose context completely, when context doesn't matter, and we've seen people say that, not even context matters. You said it's like, no, context should matter a lot.
Should matter.
But in a crazy upside down backwards world where it doesn't, you're better off just going, all right, whatever. I'm not throwing away me and possibly my loved ones' careers,
right?
To pay homage to Run DMC.
I saw a great bit the other day. It was a comedian. I don't remember who he was, but black people in the crowd. He's doing his bit. He's like, so we can agree. Like, blackface it's never okay, right? And they're like, yeah, like I agree. You're going to all the black guys in the thing, like, right? It's never okay, right? And they're like, yeah, never, no, fuck, never, right? He was like, so those Navy SEAL commercials. He's like, they make it look pretty dope. I'm just saying.
That's hilarious.
It was a great take on it, right?
That's hilarious.
He's like, because you just see it immediately as soon as you do it, like,
you know it.
You know it.
You picture him in the swamp.
But the Navy SEALs make it look pretty fucking cool, though.
That's hilarious. That's a great take.
Yeah.
So she says, so first of all, you misstate the circumstances of my departure from NBC. That's all I'm allowed to say about it. And as for Fox, there were widely reported facts that I was offered $100 million to stay there. I remember those. That is facts. Her ratings were through the roof. They offered her $100 million. That was, by all accounts, an absolute truth. And she said, you know what? I'm a mother with young children, and I've made a lot of money, and I'm going to raise these kids. And that's what she did.
What an animal.
Yeah.
Monster.
The record's very clear that I left voluntarily because I wanted to raise my family. Something that you don't know anything about, because no one would marry you and you have no children. You have a cold, lonely life in which you've become a bitter, bitter man. Something I wouldn't know anything about, because my life is joyful and I've managed to raise my own children. And someday I hope you have that pleasure, but I don't have high hopes that's going to happen.
Not anymore.
Ouch.
He's spitting dust now.
As someone who's never been married and doesn't have children, I can tell you that stings.
Is that a shot?
It's a shot. Yeah.
That one hurts.
We can say till we're blue in the face. Oh, thank God. And there are times when I see you with your daughters and I want to pull my hair out because they're doing something so stupid.
Yeah.
And I could say that with my niece and nephews. But at the end of the day, there is no doubt that the family structure does something to us as human beings that is something I'll never experience.
Right.
And the older you get, I talked to Drew at one point. I probably shouldn't say this, but fuck, whatever. But I was talking to Drew off the air one day, and I'll never forget it. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago, and he was just like, it was catching up with him that he never had kids. And fuck, I probably shouldn't even talk about it. It's probably a dick move.
I think you already did.
Yeah. Oh, well. It's not like I can blow up that relationship any more than I have in our... No, I'm just kidding. Drew's great.
He might get ahead of you.
But no, we were having a very honest conversation about
That's a reality. I mean,
what's
it's not...
important. It's like, okay, now I've made a mountain of money, and
now what?
Now what? You don't have someone to leave it to, or you don't, I'm lucky that I've got niece and nephews that it's like, yeah, you're going to have to pretend to be my kids through some of this. And I was talking to G the other day, and I'm like, you know what? I need to get out there soon. I need to get out to Arizona and California sooner than later. And he's like, what are you thinking? I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm thinking, but what I do know is these kids are growing up incredibly fast. All of a sudden, Reed's 10.
Yeah.
And Marshall's 8, 9. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Blinken.
talking about 5, 6 years from now, they're going to think all of us are fucking assholes, and they're going to want nothing to do with us.
It's truth.
And I don't want to be to those kids what my aunts and uncles were to me, which is saw them once every handful of years, maybe.
Yeah.
And you knew them, you loved them, you cared about them, but you weren't really in their lives.
Yeah.
And I know how that works when families spread out around the country. I don't want that reality for me where it's like, yeah, of course I love Marshall and Reed and Mad.
Have you started sending them the cards with the 2 2s and a 1 or anything yet to start buying their love?
I haven't. And I withheld on stuff when they're like 3. I'm like, no, I'm not going out of my way to send a bunch of birthday
They're not
shit.
going to remember this. I'm not going to bother now.
It's ridiculous. Wake me up when they're an age where they'll actually remember.
Gee, buy him something nice and put my name on it.
So, and I think that's what my sister's done. My sister's like, but my sister, and God bless her, I love her to death for this. She goes out of her way to constantly remind them of Uncle Mike. Like, she's not going to have a situation where they barely recognize
all the time and things like that, which is great, absolutely. Even with Marshy.
Yeah, 100%. And so that, while kind of bold, and that statement she made to Keith Olbermann, 100% he'll hear it, and 100% he can deny it. He can say whatever he wants. Yeah. But
here's the thing.
It's going to sting.
The real tell will be whether or not he fires another fucking bullet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
He might know.
He might, but I don't think he's got one left in the chamber. I think he's like, just take it. Take the L and fucking move on, because you're not equipped for this fucking battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he is so disillusioned. Like, he's delusional.
Yeah, he's off the fucking reservation, man.
Like, for real. Like, I honestly worry about a guy like that. Like, this doesn't seem healthy on any level. Like, at all. It's one thing to have your opinions and be strongly opinionated, whatnot, do a show. And
but when you dive into the shallow end head first, it's like, what are we doing
over
here?
again.
Yeah, what are we doing, dude? Where'd this come from?
Yeah. So, and he gets ratioed so hard, dude. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like Keith Olbermann, to your point, he was kind of a legend for those of us that grew up in the 90s. And Sports Center was what we watched.
Oh,
like,
man, yeah, that was the heyday.
Heyday of it. The commercials were so good. The talent was perfect.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they really did
It was,
a good
I mean,
hiring
literally
job.
watching Sports Center was an event, and it had nothing to do with the sports.
Yeah.
It was
11,
that
and I
good.
watched the 11 o'clock. Like, that was my jam, the 11 o'clock one, not the 6 o'clock one or whatever, 5 o'clock, whatever it was. They did another live one at 11, and that was Patrick and Olbermann.
Yeah.
And they were so good. So good.
Yes, no doubt.
Yeah, it's wild. This Tucker thing, just to put a bow on it, everyone has a right to make a living. Now, I know that's absurd when you're talking about someone making $20 million a year. You're basically talking about $1.5 million plus dollars a month. Okay, so the idea, like, and when I talk about being on the beach, that's an industry term. You know, when someone gets fired, they're on the beach. So for him, it's really hard to make non-competes work because everybody's got a right to make a living. Historically, when you're talking about a non-compete contract, you're talking about days when you're tied to a radio tower or a television tower. And that has a broadcast range of, 50 miles, depending on how big the wattage is.
Can't go to a direct competitor.
Right. And so they do not want you to be able to leave Riff and go to Wheels and then start kicking their fucking teeth in. So it's like, oh, yeah, you've got a 2-year non-compete and you can't be anywhere within a 60-mile radius, but it doesn't mean you can't work. How this plays out in a world with the internet, we have listeners, we've had listeners all over the world, literally, in fucking, military guys in Afghanistan, Florida to California. England. Yeah, right. We have current listeners down in Florida and Arizona and California, like all over. Not huge numbers. We'd like to get those up if you guys could help spread the word.
Sure.
But, that's the reality.
Click, like, and share.
Yeah. So I don't know but this lawyer that Greg had mentioned, his job will be, how do I get Tucker free? How do I make him able to go out and do whatever he wants? And he'd be foolish to go to another tower.
Yeah, well, we'll see what
these. There.
No, I don't imagine he's going to go back. Well, first of all, there's really not. I mean, besides OAN, which is, apparently a network.
Right.
It would be the only kind of option. I mean, he's certainly not going to MSNBC or CNN.
And he's not going
like
to Breitbart.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, he's...
Right. So, and OAN, I think...
OAN, I think Breitbart, though.
Is so... Well, exactly. It's so far right that you're affiliating yourself. And that was kind of where I was talking before, that he's definitely right, leaning anyway, but...
Conservatively, sure.
So... It limits your options, essentially, of where you can go and what you can do, aside from being more independent, whether you go to the Blaze, the Daily Wire, or you do your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Rogan's
get
fucking
tremendous
made the
support.
blueprint. You can absolutely just do the fucking Rogan route. He'll make, and just work from your fucking home.
Yeah.
And live the life.
Yep.
Man.
It's
Absolutely.
great. It's great if you can pull it off. It's hard to do.
I do have a couple of updates.
Okay.
One, your mother being an idiot.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Plot twist.
Okay.
She did not move the rattlesnake by hand. So that makes...
She told me she did.
I understand that.
I read the text to you.
I know. That makes you the idiot.
Why am I the idiot?
Because you believed it. She set you up and knocked you down.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
The whole family was like, are you fucking kidding
and you
me?
all got.
Do you think we got?
Yeah, you just called your mother an idiot for picking up a snake when she didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
She told you that and you believed it. That makes you...
There was nothing in that text. A, she took a picture of the snake.
Right.
B, she said, I moved it onto the grass because it was in my trail.
Right.
Or whatever. And I was like, you fucking kidding me? That's a rattlesnake. Yeah.
I know. And she knew it.
And the other thing
and
she
then you
did,
guys thought she was so stupid that she would pick up a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Checkmate.
Not hardly a checkmate.
Oh, yeah. Pat wins that round for sure.
Yeah.
As far as us being on 0.75, jury's out on that.
Yeah,
one.
jury is not out on that.
But my other one is, when you support a sponsor, you support TDC, and we appreciate that more than you know. So if you're in the market for something new or pre-loved, or you just want to sell your car, then please give our friends at Zot a shot. They've been with us since the beginning, and they love taking care of you. Get out there today and lease a 22 Bronco Sport Big Bend as low as $298 a month, or you can buy it for fucking 1.9% financing. That's insane. Or you can stop by Zot and lease a 22 Explorer XLT as low as $282 a month, or you can buy that cheeky bastard for 1.9%. Finally, you can lease a 22 F-150 Super Crew 4x4 for $244 a month or lower. That's right, you could actually save another $20 to $50 a month if you qualify for a Ford private offer. You got to give Anthony or Gabara a call to see if you're eligible, though. Plus, you can buy this bad boy for 2.9% financing for 72 months. You can get details and search Zot Ford's banging inventory at dealsinthed.com.
Speaking of talk shows, we lost one. Jerry Springer.
Oh, you heard that.
Yeah, he died. 79 years old.
Yeah.
What an interesting run that guy had.
Indeed.
He was the mayor of Cincinnati at one point.
Right? Yeah.
And then launches this talk show, which was, I believe, politically based in the beginning.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was just like, fuck it. Like, for those too young to remember what TV was like in those days.
Yeah, when you had 4 fucking options.
Ricky Lake, a young Oprah Winfrey, Jerry Springer, who was the mouth?
Morton Downey Jr. Oh my God, I was thinking that earlier too. Yeah.
Like, these guys were daytime TV.
That was it.
Fucking killing it.
Yes.
I mean, they were getting ratings you can't imagine. Yeah. And
right. I mean, you got to understand that it was
so in the gutter.
In the pre and very early stages of cable.
Yes.
Right? These were actual network shows.
Still network shows.
They were network shows, but cable I'm trying to figure out the exact timeline.
Yeah,
but it was not
around.
Anywhere near what it is now.
No.
I mean, networks still dominated this stuff.
Yeah.
So you're talking ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox,
yeah.
What was Fox even the thing?
Yeah, they were, because they had The Simpsons in 89,
right,
88.
Right. And that was it. I mean, those were your 4 major channels. That was it. And then you had the sort of the local.
UPN 50, Channel 20, Channel 9, CBC.
Exactly. 20 and 50.
Yeah.
9. I used to get the hockey games on fucking
CBC.
Yeah.
You had 62. Was that in there?
That's
no,
CBS.
that's CBS.
Yeah, 247, 62 were the actual networks. But that was it. Those were your options.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, those were your options. That was it.
Yeah.
You had to watch one of those 4 fucking things.
Oh, what's her name, too, was in that? Not Ricky Lake.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
Sally Jesse Raphael. That's not who I'm thinking of, though.
Okay.
Who's the one that had the gay guy on? Was like, I got a crush on this dude.
And then got him killed?
Killed. Yeah, the guy ended up shooting him with a shotgun. Jenny. Yeah.
Fuck was her name? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I mean, that blew up that show.
But right. I mean, so when you're talking about, now when you're talking about, you have hundreds of options of what you can watch.
Yep.
Between cable and internet. I don't know how any show survives, to be honest with you. I really don't. But back then.
And those would be canceled if they only got 8 million viewers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if they got 500,000
because
views.
Everybody had to watch something. So it was split 4 ways. So if you got over 25%, you were killing it. I
mean, unless you stayed home sick from work one day, you probably never were aware of these shows.
I mean, I knew what they were, but I never watched any of it.
And this was pre clips on the internet and shit trending on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Maury
Povich. Yeah, Maury was a good one.
You are not the father.
Yeah. And they learned. These guys all learned from each other.
But he started it. He was the one that started taking it in the gutter.
I feel like Morton Downey Jr. was a hair before him.
He was the loud mouth, and he was
smoking, chain smoking,
all that kind of shit, right? But I think that Jerry was the first one that started going like the crazy route. You know what I mean? Like Morton Downey was like would have different shit, but he was the one that would bring on, a girlfriend and her 2 boyfriends and let them fight on the stage.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And wow, let me bring out the guy she's been fucking for the last 2 years. Bob, come on out.
Yeah. And then they'd go to fisticuffs.
Right. And now it's the big guy that was his security dude, Steve. He ended up getting his own show.
Yes.
That kind of shit.
Something. Wilkins.
Wilco?
Wilco?
Something like that.
Yeah. how do we know that? I never even
Sad.
watched that, but I think we interviewed him at the Drew and Mike show.
Right.
When that was starting.
But that's how
out.
famous it is. That I never even watched it. I know this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was kind of water cooler talk the next day. Like, and thankfully, is it female, FEMAIL? Is that the website or whatever? I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They put together a list of like, his crazy moments.
Oh, okay.
Of
Best of
Springer. And I was like, great. I don't want to go search in the net today. And I'm too jonesed up for the draft.
Yeah.
I had no time to get into it. But I feel like female or Famale, whatever, did a pretty good job of putting some of these together. I remember some. I don't remember others. But I don't even know if you could do this shit now. So I remember this chick. I believe we interviewed her as well. I broke the world sex record.
Okay.
Jasmine St. Clair. Now, there were a few competing bitches for this title at one point, like the Jasmine 300. There was a girl named Houston who had the Houston 500, I believe.
Okay.
And they would you just have like a line down the block of like 300 guys.
Just waiting to train.
And they just fucking hop in there, pull a couple pumps on her, and then off they'd go. So this
do you get to go? I mean, just until you finish, or is it just
It
you
might
had to
be a
just
couple
to,
pumps
just to
and
be
out.
boop in and out, just to save it, or what?
I mean, technically, dick goes in, dick comes out.
That counts.
That counts.
That counts. I'm just curious of what I'm signing up for here.
It probably got
If
to
I'm
a
72
point,
guys deep, fluffing in the fucking on the
Yeah.
sidewalk, like I want to know what I'm getting into.
How big of an ass would you feel like being in that line, like 3 lanes deep, just like nude, standing there, kind of. Yeah, dude, you're like 5 guys up. T, you're
Right?
up in
Oh,
5 guys.
All right, start fluffing. Get ready. Could you
Yeah.
imagine getting up there and not being like fucking stage fright? Like, you're up, dude. I know. I'm trying.
Give me a second.
Right?
Give me
I
a
was
second.
looking at that pimply ass on the dude in front of me the last
Yeah.
fucking 5 minutes. I fucking creep me out, man. Sorry.
So anyway, this chick, Jasmine St. Clair, appeared on the show in '97 to share her bizarre life goal. I thought the most outrageous thing I could do in this lifetime was to have sex with 300 men. So I did it. It's made me the most famous porn star in America. Asked by Jerry what benefit there was to this, Jasmine said, I'm making tons of money now, and I'm super famous.
Oh, good job.
I wonder how Jasmine feels about that now. No, maybe she doesn't care at all.
Does
Maybe
she still have
it's-
the trophy? Or has the title been taken?
Oh, yeah. 300. Yeah. The Houston 500 happened.
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean, seriously. And there might have been some chick. There was some like chick. I don't know if it was Houston or what. There was like an Asian girl who was like an MIT grad, brilliant, and crushed one of these records.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're good at math.
Yeah, they are. She'd worked it all out in her head. It's not funny. How about I'm happy I cut off my legs, guy?
All
Or
right.
girl. 2007. This goes to. Fans were stunned by a guest who cut off both their legs with a power saw.
Like, you cut it yourself?
Yeah.
Were you,
With a
stuck in
power
a,
saw.
were you stuck in a bear trap or under a car or anything?
No.
No?
48-year-old Sandra decided at the age of 14 that she didn't want her legs.
Okay.
So I've done this experiment with the trans argument.
Yeah, right.
Right? Where it's like, what if I just declared that I believe myself to be
Yeah.
a Vietnam vet?
I'm legless.
And I'm legless. Like,
I'm
what's the
Lieutenant
difference?
Dan.
I'm not actually a Vietnam vet, but I believe it. And why would you not want to, what do they call that? Affirm
Yeah,
someone.
exactly.
You know, like why,
Yeah.
like affirm my identity. Why wouldn't you? You can't call that a mental illness. I truly believe it, and blah, blah. How is that different from a boy thinking it's a girl and going, and we all have to now play this game? You know, there's probably more nuanced ways of saying that and not offending everybody, but,
it's not that bad of an analogy. I'm not going to lie.
but I've always used that one. Like, at that point, would you say it's maybe a little fucking mentally off? Because you're not a World War II vet. But Sandra actually went through with it and comes out in a wheelchair, missing both legs.
Good Lord.
With a fucking saw, dude. That's incredible.
There's
A power saw. Oh, I can just see it.
Yeah, you got to go power saw. You can't get it done with a hand
Hell
saw. You can't get
no.
it done with a hand saw. You'll never get both of them. Even if you somehow make it through the first, you'll never get through the second with a hand saw.
Oh, my God. She tried to get her leg infected multiple times so that doctors would have to amputate. She was injecting her kneecap with her own shit
Wow.
in a needle.
Does she say why she didn't want legs? Out of curiosity. No, just batshit crazy.
She just from the time she was 14, she did not want her legs.
Saw somebody.
There's
in a wheelchair
probably
and was
a name.
Like, damn, I need some of that.
Oh my God. I would wonder, like, how long after that would you wake up and be like, oh boy. It's like when you stub your toe, you don't realize how much you use a digit until it gets hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm living it right now.
yeah.
Pinky toe.
Right. We all are. My back, you don't realize how many times in the day a human being like bends over to pick something up or has to lean or twist to do something until you're not able to do it. How many times, like the first day she got out of bed and fell flat on her face, was Sandra like, boy, oh boy, I really took those leg things for granted all these years.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who knows? But, yeah, medical professionals refused at that point when doctors had some credibility to their names.
Oh, yeah.
Thou shalt do no harm, whatever. Yeah, they were like, yeah, no, we're not cutting your healthy legs off.
No?
So she decided, fuck it, I'm doing it myself.
Okay.
Then there was I Cut Off My Manhood episode.
Oh, boy.
Guest Earl Zea appeared to discuss his decision to cut off his own cock and balls with a pair of garden shears.
I mean, that's probably the best way to go. Some loppers. Because anything else, just like your legs, like you can't start.
Why wouldn't you build a guillotine at home for your legs?
It's a great move. I mean,
you know what I mean?
got to have a little engineering skills for that. But, he was obviously committed. It's not a bad way to go.
Oh my God, dude!
But yeah, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it with a knife. You couldn't do it with scissors.
Yeah,
you gotta fucking commit and go for it. 1, 2, 3,
go! Yeah.
God damn, I got a little pain right there. Just fucking pretending to do it.
So he was 34 at the time. He did reveal that. I wish it never happened.
Oh yeah, wow. Little buyer's remorse, eh?
Yeah, he had some buyer's remorse.
Oh. Some things never change.
I did it in order to prevent that stalker Ronnie from being able to touch it.
Oh, we had a little pedophile.
We had a little Ronnie. Little Ronnie was.
Okay, why didn't you chop Ronnie's dick off? Yeah, what are we doing, dude?
You cut the wrong dick off, sir.
Yeah, your problem solving
skills
suck.
Cut Randy's fingers off.
Then no more touching.
Yeah. No, he can't touch because I cut both his hands off.
Yeah, he's still got a mouth.
He does, but if he doesn't have any hands, he can't really get a hold of you.
Bobbing for apples.
Yeah. I wanted to prevent that stalker Ronnie from being able to touch it. Nice job, dickhead.
You were 38,
34.
Right? 34?
Yeah, move.
Kick his ass.
Beat the shit out of him. Yeah, great point. In
Keep your dick, man.
In a twist of the tail, and this is so Jerry Springer. Well, let's bring Ronnie out to the stage. Brings Ronnie out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he claimed that the pair had enjoyed a 5-year relationship. Ronnie said.
Yeah.
But Earl was like, no, he keeps trying to touch my wiener. And I'm like, no.
I told him no more after 5 years.
Yep. You slept with my stripper sister.
Wow.
One of the most popular clips is undoubtedly the encounter titled "You Slept with My Stripper Sister." Saw a stripper tell her crying sister that she had sex with her boyfriend after a drunken night out. It doesn't seem like that crazy.
Yeah, I would have assumed.
Yeah. Despite attempting to half-heartedly apologize, Sister Christina was having none of it. The crowd were quickly on Christina's side when she revealed the stripper had
chlamydia.
Had form having previously. She revealed the stripper had form having previously sleeping with 2 of her boyfriends in the past.
Oh, there's a pattern.
Okay. The duo got into a vicious fist fight. The audience heckled as clumps of hair extensions were ripped out. Derogatory slurs were exchanged. When Christina's boyfriend came out to apologize by arguing that it was a mistake, he also got slapped.
Right. I was going to say, and is this about this? The Springer turn here would be then both girls start kicking his ass.
Yeah,
things like that. It was a circus, a sideshow.
I spent it all on a hooker. 2010. Mm-hmm. Another now infamous altercation involved a hooker who seemed pretty pleased with herself for providing services to another woman's husband. The pair get into a physical fight before it took a bizarre turn. The hooker was left humiliated when her dentures flew straight out of her mouth mid-sentence. The mouthpiece landed on stage, but she seemed unfazed and continued with the confrontation. Once the action had died down, one of the security guards brought out a glass of water for her to deposit her teeth into. As he turned to leave, he raised the cup to the audience as they erupted in applause.
Sure.
There was also a clan-frontation. There were a lot of these clan episodes.
Would you pay extra for a fucking toothless fucking
Yeah,
blowjob?
I think I would.
Right.
Yeah. I spent it all on a hooker, so I don't know if that means the reason they got there was like he spent the life savings on a hooker.
Who knows?
There was also clan-frontation. These were very popular.
Definitely,
where you'd bring out clan members in robes and shit.
Yeah.
And then you'd bring out like the Black Panther guys, and they'd get into a fist fight.
Shocker.
Compelling.
You set the table there.
That would happen on Maury Povich. That would happen on
Springer, but that's what I'm saying.
Geraldo
That's what I'm saying. I
Springer.
think Springer was sort of the first one to really kind of go down that road.
Yeah,
sort
maybe.
of almost encourage it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
That was the environment that he was trying to create.
Yeah.
The other ones happen sometimes just based on circumstances. But
Yeah.
they started catering to it. He's been fucking your sister. Here comes the sister. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what do you think's going to happen there? And then it became a shtick almost.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you were on there, you had to go swinging.
Yeah.
You know, like they weren't. It was part of it.
Like, yeah, you had to take the stage in a huff. The crowd
Right.
would stand up and start going berserk.
Exactly.
Chairs flying.
Right.
And then security would get involved. And, you know, who knows how much of that was put on and fake towards the end of it. There's probably
all of it.
Because
in
how
a
do you
way.
keep upping the ante? Like,
Right.
you can't do that and then be like, oh, we got Betty Crocker's great granddaughter on today to give us her bran muffin recipe. Like, you can't go from I fucked a horse to that, which was another one.
And
The guy
knew-
that married his horse and kept making out with a horse on stage.
Really?
Yeah, like 5 times, like making out with it.
Isn't bestiality illegal?
Yeah, not always.
I
Not
guess
in some
not-
places.
not if
This
you're
dude
married?
married his horse, T.
He was way out in front of the curve.
Oh, yeah. When wife, so he's like, yeah, he seemed like a normal guest, claiming that he had problems with neighbors or neighbors.
Yeah. Haha.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
Who didn't get along with his wife, but then his wife Pixel was brought out onto the stage. It was revealed then that Pixel was his pet horse.
Womp, womp.
Mark had previously been married to a woman with 2 kids. Oh, thanks, Dad. Wow, you think your dad's an asshole?
Yep.
Oh, wow. You remember the time your dad went on TV and talked about fucking his horse?
Oh boy.
Jesus. So yeah, he was making out with the horse, kissing it several times on stage, which prompted Jerry to say, "Stop it, I'm about to vomit." Mark and Pixel had been together 10 years and married for 5 before giving the audience an insight into their private life together. Mark said that after a bad prom date, he fucked the mayor.
Sure.
It was like, oh my God.
I got home horny as shit. She didn't put out. I was fucking loaded.
Yeah.
And I
Look at
looked
that
up and,
giant, plump
and as I
vagine.
walked by, the tail lifted up and I just knew.
Yeah.
I wonder if you fucking dump a load in a horse, can you have one of those half?
Yeah, what do they
half
call
horse,
those? There's a name for them.
Yeah, what is that? Say.
I think that's where they come from.
that's what it is. Yeah, if you fucking dump a load in there.
Yeah, you can have a horse kid.
What the hell is that called?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he said that the intercourse with that horsey was so good I almost passed
Centaur.
out. Centaur. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, where do you think centaurs come from?
Exactly.
He's probably got a couple centaur kids.
Well, it's probably more likely that a guy fucks a horse and has a half horse baby than a horse fucking a chick and she has a half horse baby.
What would you want? Human legs with a horse head or human head with the horse body?
Oh, human head, horse body
Yeah,
all
me too.
fucking day.
Me too.
Fuck yeah.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I'd feel like I lost. If I knocked up my horse and it spit out a kid and it had a giant horse head and then a couple human legs
Oh, dude.
and arms.
Oh, I'd be a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer defensive back.
Yeah.
Or a fucking running back.
With a full horse body in your head? Yeah.
Tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be a DB because you can't really hold the ball.
Yeah.
But try and get by me. You
How
try
much
and beat me
horsepower
deep.
would that be?
All of
One?
it. That's all of it.
Would that be, like, if you were born like that, would you be 1 horsepower,
I think so.
essentially?
Yeah. Actually, I think it's only half a horsepower
Why?
because you're half man.
Yeah, but this upper half, the lower half, all 4 limbs would be horse. And ass would be horse. I think you'd be full 1
I'll give you
horsepower.
3/4. You can't be full because you're not a whole horse.
Yeah, but how
I'll
much
give you
is the
3/4.
head and neck helping the thing go
It's got to tell you
faster?
how fast to run.
Yeah, your human head can figure that out.
Maybe you could be more. If your human head's smarter than a horse, you could
Yeah.
run faster.
Great point.
Who knows? You
I
could be
wonder if you'd be on a strict diet of carrots and stuff too. And Salt
Hay?
licks. Hay.
I think they eat hay. I think that's what happens.
Yeah. See, if I was going to do it, if it was my head, I'd still be eating filet.
Yeah.
I'd be eating filet or something, chicken.
Imagine the cock you'd have. Just
Oh, yeah.
fucking hammer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm all in.
It's a small dating pool, though.
Moving on from this lovely conversation.
Who doesn't love horse cock?
Yeah. Thoughts on Jewel?
Oh, I love me some Jewel.
Big fan of Jewel.
Absolutely. It's
I
adorable.
am a big
I
fan
do really
of Jewel.
like Jewel, yes.
She's great. She seems genuine, sweet
And
as
when
can
that
be.
when that album came out, man, like that fucking hit.
Oh.
That really hit. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was at a very chick music back then was kind of killing it with Jewel and Alanis Morissette. Kind of they're totally different styles there, obviously. But Jewel had this voice. I mean, her
Like an
voice,
angel.
second to none. Like you had Sheryl
The
Crow, Alanis
snaggletooth
Morissette.
was a bit off-putting. But
No, I disagree.
you leaned into that?
Yeah. Yeah. Could be like, supermodel that's got the birthmark right here.
Well, Cindy
Stupid
Crawford.
Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a birthmark. That's not a snaggletooth.
yeah, that snaggletooth. I thought it was even hotter.
All right.
I thought it was a good move.
You know what I was oddly a fan of? Edie Brickell in the New Bohemians.
Oh, love it. Love me some E.
is what I am.
Yeah. What about Four Non Blondes? That bitch in Four Non Blondes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
I don't.
for
I
sure.
don't know if. I don't know if that's a good one because she was
I liked
dressed.
it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not talking about the chick. I'm just talking about the music.
Oh, the Four
man.
Non Blondes was great.
Great,
Yeah,
absolutely.
great. Yep. But that was a definition of a one-hit wonder.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know?
so is Edie. Really?
Wake in the morning and I step outside and and then I get real high and then yeah, whatever, however that song went.
Yep.
But that was a huge, huge hit.
Big time. I'm still living off it.
Jewel tried to save Tony. I'm going to fuck this up. This is some billionaire, the founder of Zappos. Tony.
Shoes. You know, it's an online shoe company.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Checking. Oh, of course, he says.
Yeah, I know what Zappos
I
is.
was
Yeah,
just
of
asking.
course, of course. Tony Hsieh, Hsieh. Tony.
That's what Bogey does to me in the morning when he wants to get up on the bed.
Yeah.
He
Is he calling out Tony?
doesn't bark. He doesn't whine.
So apparently, Jewel was like good friends with Mr.
Yeah.
And wrote this tough letter to him. This letter she wrote him, branding him a drug addict, addicted cliche. A few months before his death in 2020,
Wrote it sooner.
yeah, but firmly worded message printed in the new biography, Wonder Boy, Tony Zappos and the Myth of Happiness in Silicon Valley. Jewel addressed her longtime friend. She went to visit him in Park City, Utah, August of 2020. 4 months later, who was worth around $850 million and had once been lauded by the likes of Barack Obama for revolutionizing online commerce and writing a best-selling book about business.
Wasn't that Bezos?
He was dead.
Didn't Bezos do that?
Yeah, sort of did. And he bought out, I think, Zappos. I think there's a connection there with
Okay.
something like that.
That's how you're worth $800 million when somebody buys you out.
Yes, very much. Died of smoke inhalation in the hospital on November 18th, 2020, 9 days after he was pulled unconscious from a burning shed.
Oh, I thought it was like the hospital on fire?
Yeah, right? So there was this one
It's
point.
ironic.
Yeah.
Dying in
No.
a burning hospital. What a fucking coincidence.
So this burning shed was attached to a $1.3 million home in New London, Connecticut. In the months following his death, those close to him painted a dark picture of his heavy drug use, which they say escalated after he quit as CEO of Zappos. Between cigarettes, was inhaling from whippet canisters like he was drinking water from a bottle, more than 50 a day.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God, I had a kick of those.
I know.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was fun, no doubt about it.
For about 9 seconds.
Yeah, for a few days. And then it was like, I'm really dumb.
Yep.
I'm dumb. Like, I literally couldn't remember the most basic of things, like at all.
Yeah.
And you weren't much smarter. And so it was like, okay, I guess we can't do this one. Like, I've been on a lifelong quest to find the drug that you can just do for the rest of your life.
Sure.
And just be like, yeah, it's not going to kill you. It makes you feel awesome.
Yeah, it grows out back.
No, I fucking hate weed. That's the problem. I know. I wish I liked weed, but I don't. I don't fucking like it. I like it in your caramel form. But that's it. That's it. I'm with Mr. Like, I get it. You know, you get to the nitrous level, that's fine. You know, it's tough. It makes you fucking dumb as shit. But if I didn't have to do this and I could just zone out on the couch and be stupid.
Yeah. If you got $800 million and you can just fucking go full retard.
All I have to do is be smart enough to have the reorder just keep coming to the door every day. Mm-hmm. Great. No problem.
The bill's on auto pay and let it ride.
Jewel became convinced that Mr. was going to die if he stayed on this path. She told his head of security, there's people taking advantage of Tony there. There's dangerous behavior. He's not being protected, and I'm putting you on notice. Anything happens, that he's going to die in there. He's going to light that house on fire. So she wrote this letter, which I thought, you know, it shows what a good person.
Wait a minute.
What?
She said he's going to light this house on fire, and then he lit the house on fire?
Something like that, yeah. Chain smoking, passing out with cigarettes lit.
Was she in the will?
No. She was the only one not on the payroll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but she, you know, if you...
I'd say the payroll is in the will.
Look, I've seen this behavior personally. It's disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people light their own hair on fire. I've seen lots of things, lots and lots, where it's beyond the pale of... And you look at that and you're like, oh, there's no doubt this is going to end in a house fire.
Yeah.
So if Jewel spent the weekend with someone in that bad a shape, it wouldn't be impossible to foresee, like, yeah, he's chain smoking and doing whippets to passing out every minute. Like, he's going to light this house on fire. Mm-hmm. And you're all responsible. Fuck all of you. It just shows what a good person she is. Here's the problem with this letter. He probably read the first sentence and was like, fuck off. You're not going to want to hear it. Mm-hmm. You know,
she sent
depth,
it just to him?
Yeah. In the throes, what?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Did you think that was going to land?
Well, it clears your conscience, though. You're like, hey, I wrote him a fucking letter. What do you want me to do?
You might want to make a couple copies. That's all I'm saying. Maybe send it.
Well, they have a copy of it. I have the whole letter.
They do now.
Yeah.
He's dead. And somehow it didn't burn up in the fire. But
yeah, well, he probably had 10 houses. Who knows where she sent it to?
Probably an email.
You know, she met him in Utah, and this whatever happened in Connecticut. So, you know, he probably had properties all over.
Sure.
And, you know,
I'm just saying, how about send it to his, attorney or his caregiver, or his mother, his kids, something like that.
Maybe she did. Who knows? But they have it. It's come out in a book about him now. So she didn't publish this. She didn't put this out. It wasn't for public's not for their information.
Yeah.
It just, however, in his circle, this letter is there from Jewel, and it's come out in this book, and it shows what a good person she is. Unless it's just like, hey, I'm clearing my conscience and then walking sideways from this. I don't know where this goes, but nowhere good. Here's the thing I'll say: it is like there's a way to run yourself up to the point of, okay, I can't pay my bills now. You can drink yourself to that. You can definitely drug yourself to that point where it almost has to cut you off. Like, all right, I'm either going into bank robbing now, or I've hit the point of no return where
buy a Rolex on your credit card, things like that.
That's hilarious, and that's a good marker. I know people that would have done similar stuff.
Right.
John Mulaney's new that joke, that reference was timely. John Mulaney's new Netflix stand-up special, Baby J, came out, and it's great.
Fantastic.
It's very, very good. It's all about he went down the drug path and intervention, and it's all about that. It's great. You can check it out on Netflix. It would be infinitely harder. I am someone who got pretty close to that fucking wall where it's like, you spent impressive amounts of cash trying to keep a habit going.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what would have happened to me had I had $850 million in the bank.
Right.
It would be...
If there was no wall to hit.
If there was no wall to hit, if there was technically no rock bottom for you, it's just a free fall. If you're in the position to, I can literally retire to an island and just do this for the remainder of my life, that would be incredibly hard to back out of that.
You have all the money in the world. You can do any drug you want. You're doing whippets.
I know, right? And who knows? Whippets just could have been what they saw on the surface.
Right,
it was probably a lot more mixed with that.
Yeah.
But
I wonder what his autopsy showed.
I don't know.
Toxicology was.
I think he's a little Asian, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Tony doesn't sound Asian, but I believe he was.
Okay.
So let me read you just a little bit of her letter to him. We'll see what you think. Hi, Tony. It was great seeing you. I felt compelled to write. I am going to be blunt. I need to tell you that I don't think you are well and in your right mind. I think you are taking too many drugs that cause you to disassociate. Your intelligence is formidable, but I see you are creating rationalizations that are ludicrous and medically unsound. And the people you are surrounding yourself with are either ignorant or willing to be complicit in you killing yourself. Okay, what she's talking about there, T, is this guy apparently thought that he was so smart. One of these guys that's like, there's a whole level of mental genius that goes off the deep end. And who was the guy that was collecting bottles of his own piss and shit?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, they made movies about him. Leonardo DiCaprio playing eccentric billionaires who, again, off the reservation. What the fuck was that guy's name? That was
you talking about like back in the 20s?
Yeah.
That guy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shit. There's examples galore where
It's
these
amazing
people
I've
get
kept
into a
it together
paranoid.
as well as I have.
Why? Oh yeah. For you person. Yeah. This guy Tony
Yeah.
apparently thought through whippets, among maybe other things, he had figured out how to stay awake and never have to sleep.
Oh, that's it? That's
Yeah.
what he got figured out?
Yep. He figured out I never have to sleep. And so
Okay.
Jewel was like, that's where she's talking about ludicrous
Gatsby?
and medically unsound. What's it? Yeah,
Gatsby.
the Great Gatsby. He's one of them. There's a few.
I was asking if that's who you were talking
I
about.
think so.
Okay.
If you went down the list, I could tell you for sure. It might not have been Gatsby.
Okay.
Gatsby might have been the detective. I don't remember, but it's one of those.
Yeah.
There's eccentric billionaires are a thing, whether they're in a Batman movie or they're living in a cave in Afghanistan. The eccentric billionaire lives on. So that's what she's talking about when she says ludicrous, medically unsound. That's what she's referencing. So she goes to his house. He's doing all these whippets and shit and says, Jewel, I think I figured out how to stay awake 24 hours a day and no problem.
In 9-second increments.
Yeah. Which is a great reference point, too, if you've never done whippets.
Yeah. And how does that work when you fucking pass out?
Yeah.
I'm awake.
I'm up. Can you imagine the balloons and the crack? Because he had like what I had, dude, which is the canister, like a whipped cream canister. He had one. It's like, is this dude doing single crack balloons? Like, dude,
You think you
you're
go
worth
at that money? Yeah,
billion.
you get yourself full tank.
Get tanks.
Yeah, let's go.
What are we doing here,
Right?
sir?
Let's get in some nitrous. Let's fucking
Have an easily replaceable tank in every room of your house.
put a dentist on the payroll. Let's go.
Let's go. Exactly. Hire a personal dentist. Your body cannot take not sleeping, and the amount of nitrous oxide you are doing is not natural. Okay, Jewel, what is the natural amount? You will not hack sleep, and you will not outsmart nature. I think she's right.
Yeah, generally.
Your goal of creating a new country is amazing, but you are not in a state to execute it. When you look around and realize
New country.
yeah.
Where the fuck are you going to do that?
You're a billionaire. Figure it out. Buy an island. Claim it's its own country and start over.
A sovereign nation.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Let's start a GoFundMe.
When you look around and realize that every single person around you is on your payroll, then you are in trouble. And you are in trouble, Tony. I cherish you, and you can't in good conscience I can't in good conscience not speak up. Anyone who sees you would be worried. It is not healthy or sane. If the world could see how you are living, they would not see you as a tech visionary. They would see you as a drug-addicted man who is a cliche. Please don't be like the stereotype of a billionaire who surrounds himself with yes men and goes from eccentric to madness, but never sees the line that is crossed because he won't listen to anyone that loves him. Please get sober. Prove that it is your brilliance that gets the pull of the impossible and not the drugs. If you can only create and be brilliant when you are high, then that's not you anyway. It's the plant speaking through you, and anyone can be that. You sound like a crazy person when you were talking, and no one seems to be telling you. It's because you are also very smart, and they are used to you being eccentric. What you are saying isn't smart. It's mental. You can't even connect with me or anyone who comes to the house. It's sad. goes on from there.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking ballsy.
Stern words, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because it doesn't sound like they had a real, in depth. Like this seemed like more of a encounter and a observation of it in a way.
You mean, like her going to visit
Yeah, like
him?
they have been like long,
Well,
lifelong friends and stuff. They may have had a
who knows
relationship.
if they were romantically linked or if it was something, she could have had a deal with Zappos back in the day.
Yeah,
Who knows
right.
what they're, and
then he dies fucking burning his shit down, passing out
Right.
2 months later.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's
If only somebody
it's
would've
a
warned you.
noble thing. Unfortunately, in the throes of that, it's the last thing anyone wants to
course.
hear.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it would be infinitely harder to have, like me personally, I personally have to fix this for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And get yourself to there would be infinitely made harder with all the cash in the world. So
Sure. Yep.
it's
Although
sad,
I-
but
yeah.
celebrity tends to hang out with celebrity. So it doesn't surprise me that they'd run in those circles. This guy probably had a house party one day and had Jewel as the entertainment.
Right.
You know what I mean? But she sounds like
Maybe
a very
she just had a shoe
compassionate.
fetish.
Maybe. She seems like a very sweet person.
Yeah. That,
She
from
really
everything I know
does.
and everything I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got, not to drop names, but, Steve Poltz is a friend of ours, and Steve dated Jewel for a while,
Yeah.
helped her write her big album, Pieces of Me. And then that album is, it went on to sell 20 million copies or whatever. It might have gone double diamond. I don't know, but it's one of those. It's fantastic. It's personal, and Jewel is so good, and Steve's on it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And she seems like an incredibly
from
good
Alaska?
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
she is.
Look at me.
Yep, good call. I found some of this funny, and it wasn't just so much about reading the letter from Jewel, which is is nice in and of itself.
Cooler
However,
if you sang it.
yeah, if I could, I still love the videos that are out there of someone dressed up as a total nerd. They put Jewel all in costume makeup, and she went to some like karaoke night where it's packed, and someone is like, "Yeah, look it up, Jewel undercover karaoke." And she's got a name,
How do
and
you spell Jewel?
so her name is Julie Kilcher, actually. But yeah, she
It
goes
was a
up on
TV program.
yeah.
Okay.
Is there like a short version where they're like,
what
you
I'm
come
looking
up and everyone there's like, oh my God, this humble
there's a 1 minute.
dork.
On Funny or Die.
Yeah, this dork doesn't want to be on camera, and they're all trying to cheer her on to come on and sing a song.
Is that? Are we doing this?
What?
Are we gonna watch it?
Sure. We can watch a second of
Just
it.
asking if I was pulling it up. It's only 1 minute, so fuck it.
I don't know where the volume is, but
It looks like we're muted.
oh,
Is it as me?
okay.
Funny or Die called me and they wanted me to dress up as somebody else and have me go to a karaoke bar and sing my own
I'd
songs.
totally be Eskimo
and
Brothers
see
with
if people
Poltz.
would recognize
Yeah, me
it
too.
As me.
Even with the snaggletooth.
Going through the makeup process was really fun. I got to wear a wig and have a big fake nose. This nose got bigger. And a business suit and kind of a little like plumpening suit. I had a butt for the first time in my
Can you do
life.
that
I
now?
was pretty excited about it.
Wow.
Had a
Would
smooth
never
so
guess.
No.
that. That's amazing.
No.
Well done.
We had
No.
laminates that were from a frozen foods convention. When me and my fellow business associates got to the karaoke bar, it was a really unusual place. They were taking their karaoke very seriously.
Well, are they though? Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Just a teaser. All right. Well, do your own research, kids. Sorry.
tease.
Well, how the fuck am I supposed to know?
I had a minute. I should have. I was.
Well, I
hesitant.
thought it was going to be like a clip of it.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, Steve Poltz telling the stories about Jewel and them going down to Mexico,
Oh, yeah, with the
writing "You Were
cops.
Meant for Me," and that whole story is
Classic.
one of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
I mean, it literally is one of the greatest stories ever.
It's the greatest story ever told.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And how they decided that Jewel was going to release "You Were Meant for Me" and not Poltz, because they'd written this song together, "You Were Meant for Me," on a fucking beach in Mexico. And they'd driven down. They were living in San Diego at the time, so easy. So they decided, they were like, well, we both have record deals. who's going to record and put this song out? And Steve's like, well, I want to record it and put it out. And Jewel wanted to do the same. And so they went up to a homeless person on the streets in Mexico and both performed the song for this one homeless person. And then that person got to decide who got to put it out.
Awesome.
And so this homeless dude or woman was like, I like her version better.
Yeah.
And so Jewel got to put You Were Meant for Me out on the Pieces
Tits
of
will
Me.
do that.
Yeah, yeah. What a great story, though. And
indeed.
Steve obviously tells it way better than I would.
Well, the details and all.
So, anyway, fell into San Francisco's rave scene and later said that he felt awkward and transformed by the party drug MDMA or Molly and acid, so which he both took. He bought a 3,500 square foot penthouse dubbed Club Bio, where he and his friends lived, worked, and hosted parties where they blew $10,000 every night on alcohol.
Wow.
And had a room full of mattresses where they could explore boundaries.
Okay, sure. The fuck room.
Dude, isn't this like,
Hey, listen, 10 grand in fucking alcohol
a day?
Yeah,
That's right. Respect.
Yeah.
Mad respect.
Lines are blurred.
Unless, hold on. Unless they bought like a $10,000 bottle of fucking vodka or whiskey. That's bullshit then. But if they're buying like what we would think.
I mean, 10 grand's a lot. In a night, I mean, an exorbitant amount.
Dude, I love single billionaire guys. Like Cuban. Mark Cuban famously in his living room put in a full fucking wiffle ball park. And like going up to the upper deck of the house was like over the fence, like full on. I'm a billionaire. I'm
whatever the fuck
in
I
my
want.
late 20s. Fuck off if you don't like it.
Definition of fuck you money.
Dude, that's the goal in life, right?
Wouldn't it be?
I mean, honestly, if we could have a wiffle ball stadium in the house, you've won.
Yeah.
That's better than kids.
Right.
That's better than a wife. It's better than anything.
Funny you do it in the house when wherever he lives, you could do it outdoors year round.
Sure. Let's do both.
Indoor, outdoor. Retractable
So,
roof.
some of their investments, this is, again, Mr. Mad respect.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Jewel. So they paid for, they want to buy drugs.com.
Okay.
Someone already owns it, the domain. So his colleague Alex Jesus, they're like, let's buy drugs.com. And they're like, someone else owns it.
We should do drugs.com. Hey, look it up on GoDaddy. Oh, somebody's already got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we should buy it.
You know what they bought it for?
$1 million.
$823,456. Do you know where they came up with that number? Mr. Sue's cell phone number.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. A phone number is 7 digits.
Right. So
million.
823,456. So I don't know if it was
You're missing a digit there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 4560.
It would have been 8 million, is what I'm saying, if they went with his real number.
Such as paying $823,456 for drugs.com because it was his colleague Alex Jesus' cell phone number. Let's see. So his theory was that if your customers and employees are happy, then your profits will go up. So he paid 100% of his staff health insurance premiums.
Okay.
All employees had to start in the call center before beginning their official roles. All staff suggestions were taken seriously, even if they were to create a little weirdness. By 2007, Zappos hit $840 million in revenue, made its first profit. But when the financial crash struck in 2008 and Jeff Bezos offered $1.1 billion,
sold.
Could not refuse.
Sold.
Yeah.
Here come my island.
So at the Zappos
My
office.
sovereign nation.
Fuck yeah, and he's gone now. It sucks. But at the Zappos office, I love these stories because, like, I talked to Jen about this shit because Jen works in Silicon Valley, my brother-in-law, and he sees all this when he goes for interviews at companies or he's, at the company he's at work.
Bouncing around? What's he going to interviews for?
Well, back a few years ago, he was interviewing with Google and Apple and I don't know, a few things.
Why
but
wouldn't you?
He's been at Workday. I believe that's what it's called, isn't it? Workday?
I know, you keep asking me. I think it is, but
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
all. I ask you because all the golfers have it on their fucking hats.
Sounds
You watch
familiar,
more golf
but-
than I do. It's either Workaday or
I think it's
Workday.
Workday, yeah.
At the Zappos office, there was a nap room,
Love it.
Must.
Yeah.
Absolute must.
I need one of those at work.
An open bar with whiskey, vodka, and beer. Balloons.
Fairly
and
limited fucking selection there.
you
but
can
all
bring
right.
your own. I'm paying for all your health insurance. Bring your own. Balloons and silly string hung from the ceiling year-round, giving the vibe of a never-ending office party. I love this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Rest in peace, sir. Jewel comes off looking great because she didn't release this letter.
Yeah, right.
They did with this
They
book,
did it,
so.
exactly. You know, I wonder how she felt about it. I guess they had to get her permission, I suppose.
I almost got to a trans story that I really wanted to do.
Nope.
But dude, you would have liked it.
Would I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll give you the rough about, and then we'll do a couple emails, and then we'll get to our draft party.
Okay.
Some kid died from getting vaginoplasty
Yeah.
because they tried to take his colon out to make a functioning vagine. And why would you ask? Do they not use his penile meat like usually when they fold it inside out?
Yeah. Just take it like a fucking
They put him on.
sock.
He was 18, by the way.
Mm.
They put him on puberty blockers at such an early age. His dick never developed and grew.
Oh, so he didn't have the meat to fucking...
He didn't have the meat to carve out a vagine.
He didn't have the Audi to turn into an Indy.
So they used his asshole to make a vagine, which, what do you know, got infected with feces in his vagine wound, and he fucking died a couple days later.
Could you imagine taking...
Trying to stuff an asshole into a vagine.
Could you imagine fucking a chick and having your cock pop out the back end? Right? Fucking... Oh, boy.
Does that count as doing a trans story? It's on the way out.
Sure.
It's on the way
Well,
out.
I'll give you credit for it. You wanted to so bad.
Thank you. I wanted to do that story. It's a crazy story, dude. That's
It is.
crazy.
Yeah,
Think about it.
exactly.
That's
I mean, who signed off on
an
that?
18
Like, this is
years
a-
old.
This is a
Fuck
good idea.
you. And which means he was probably on blockers at 13.
Yeah.
You know, because he's going to go through male puberty at 13, 14, 12.
Yeah, if I mean, exactly.
I
Have
mean-
to start it before your dick fucking grows. Yeah, for sure.
Dude. Oh,
Hey, well, that trans story and emails are brought to you by The Party Pub. If you want to impress everyone at your grad party, wedding reception, poker night, MMA viewing party, or for any other reason, then you need to contact The Party Pub. It's a massive inflatable pub that can be set up wherever you choose. They also have all the best party games, beanbag toss, badminton, giant inflatable screens, axe throwing, and more. You can call Jeff at 586-524-6701 or visit thepartypubrentals.com and take your event to the next level.
I want to say thank you to Greg Henson for coming on the show today. Gross. Always fun to talk to him.
How many G's are in that name?
3.
Fucking guy.
Absolutely
Oh, my,
3 Gs.
unbelievable.
I usually don't trust him.
I know.
But,
exactly.
you know,
Take everything he says with a grain of salt.
it takes him being with us conversing a lot before it's like, all right, maybe this 3G'd Greg is not so bad.
I love that he calls me a libtard.
I know. It's hilarious. He calls me a libtard, too.
I
though,
know.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
That's so funny.
Anything that's like, well, I don't know. They seem like a nice, lovely gay couple. Look off, libtard. You're like, all right, whatever.
Right? No, it's over there goose stepping.
I forgot to mention too. Last night we prepared and we in honor of Tucker Carlson, we ordered a pizza last night
Indeed.
with sausage and pineapple.
Fucking delicious.
It was delicious.
It is. It's a
That's
great
the first time I've ever had it.
It's a great combination.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I want to try different places. Last night we had Jets.
Yep.
So we tried Jets.
See, the problem with that is I hate Jets round. Jets has a great square.
Oh, I wish you would have said something because I would have got us a square. I got the round.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Understood. But the Jets does a great square, not so great on the round, in my opinion.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind trying, is it Tormino's?
Yeah, not bad.
That's not bad.
Radio for one.
Maybe I have a soft spot for
One of these days,
yeah,
I'll go
we
see
will.
Freddie and I'll take pineapple because he's got his sausage pizza is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it
good,
is.
real
It is.
Italian sausage. You know, not the shit that that was like
Prepackaged
the
or whatever.
crumbled fucking garbage they put up.
his
there.
sausage is
Spectacular.
second to none.
Yeah.
It's-
Pizza's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Real
Give him a
Italian
plug.
sausage. Freddie the Pizza Man.
Yeah, where at?
In Melvindale. That's
Okay.
it. You can't fucking find him. He doesn't want to be found.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
FreddieThePizzaMan.com. Autism, baby.
all right. Let me get to this. Yes. Netflix. Did you see Beef? Pretty good. Glenn from The Walking Dead is the lead. Okay, I like Glenn.
No
from
idea who
Walking
that is.
Dead. This is someone obviously reaching out. John.
I understand.
The twists and turns he says. I've seen Beef pop up on the board as new whatever. I have not watched it.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. 3 Black Ralphs right off the top of my head. And this is from our humble and obedient servant, NFL Bob.
Is this a show, 3 Black Ralphs?
No. Okay. I had said, I had pondered the other day, like, there was a Ralph something, and he was a black kid. And it was like, there's black people that named their kid Ralph.
Oh, he's got 3 Black Ralphs?
He named off 3 Black Ralphs.
Does he actually name them, or does he just say, I know 3 Black Ralphs?
No, he names them.
Okay.
Ralph Abernathy.
Nope.
Ralph Boston.
Nope.
Ralph Armstrong, badass Detroit bassist. Okay. 3 right off the top of my head. Oh. I've not heard of any of those Black Ralphs.
So congratulations.
As far as Black Ralphs go, dude, I still don't know any. It's a dodo egg to me.
Still don't know any.
No.
Even though you
honestly,
said that.
There's probably like a famous Black Ralph somewhere, but I can't think of one.
Nope.
And this doesn't, Ralph Abernathy, Boston, and Armstrong, no offense to them, but those are not household Black Ralph names. I went to school
with a Ralph Jackson. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we don't know who you went to school with, but just finishing listening to Wednesday's show. Mike's watched everything. Says, have you watched Clarkson's Farm on Prime? Well, have you? It's worth your time.
Wait,
I don't know. I have not.
I Googled black guy's name Ralph.
Okay.
Right? Which
fair.
Apparently is not actually a searchable item. It's just who's the most famous Ralph and celebrity's name with the first name Ralph. Plot twist.
Okay.
Number 1 on
so
famous.
This is just a famous Ralph.
This is Famous Fix is the site. It's celebrities with the first name Ralph.
Can I? Okay.
Okay. Number 1 on the list.
Hold on. Can I guess or no?
Well, you can, but I promise you're not going to get it.
Does it count Ray Fiennes?
Nope. I mean, that's not it.
Ralph Wiggum? Chief Wiggum's kid, Ralph?
Nope. I'm going to tell you that you're not going to guess it.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
Because you're already barking up the wrong tree.
Okay.
Number 1 on the list is Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Come again?
I already came twice today. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going into it.
Wait,
I'm going to
so
leave it there.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
is possibly a Ralph.
Okay.
I mean, maybe he's Ralph Dale Jr. I don't know. But
okay,
that's literally, they have Ralph Sorella,
he's
Ralph
a junior,
Woolfolk, Ralph Fiennes, Ralph Trevant.
I think he pronounces it Rafe, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio, Ralph Waite, Ralph Sampson, Ralph Bernstein, Ralph Meeker. But Dale Earnhardt Jr., number 1 on the list.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that, because Earnhardt is a junior, which means that Dale Sr.'s either middle name is Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, it is Ralph.
Sure
It's the first name. Okay.
Do you know there's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr.?
No.
It's a band.
He has a band?
He's a musician.
Okay. I definitely don't want to hear his music, but
well, you never know. It's better than you think.
I'd rather go and figure out what we're doing for dinner.
Yeah, let's go.
And get to the draft.
Absolutely.
This is our fucking Christmas, dude. This is our night. This is us.
If you say it's our Super Bowl, I'm going to punch you.
It's not our Super Bowl.
Hey, Ralph Carter's black.
All right. I don't know who Ralph Carter is.
Me either, but he's black.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you to Greg for
Ralph
popping
Sampson,
on this morning.
Basketball player.
Yeah. That's true.
Ralph Trevant.
Yeah. Have a great weekend. We'll do something this weekend.
Ralph Woolfolk.
For our fine folks in the members area. So look forward to that. And with that, we'll call it a day. Bye, everybody.